Welcome to JST Compete. Thanks for signing up to one of our programs. Now we're going to take you through the next stages of your journey on JST Compete. To add to this, you should have probably received a PDF document through Fitter in the welcome message. That's going to have all the information that you need from being on the program and hopefully a lot of helpful resources for you there as well. But the next step for you to be taking, you're going to get a message from our onboarding team. The first message will be the one that you've just received with the PDF on, and then there's going to be continuous check-ins with you over the first 50 days of being on the program. There'll be personal check-ins, and they're just to kind of see how you're getting on, see if you have any questions, make sure that you're on the right program and you're on the right path. And just help you for the first 50 days that you're on JST, and just make sure you're happy with how things are going.
As well as that, we're going to just be keeping in continuous communication. So what I mean by that is, if you've got any questions outside the check-ins, feel free to message us. Like, I'm on hand to answer them. Steers, we've got a couple of other people as well who help out. Make sure to record your results, because if you record your results, we do look through them just to make sure things are going okay. We may comment on certain things just to give you either a bit of feedback or just to say, you know, great work, well done. And same for videos as well. So if you need any technique refining bits, send them in to us via a direct message on Fitter, and we can give you some pointers there as well.
Yeah. And we've got quite a good online community, and what we mean by this is we've got everyone that's on the programs, everyone that's subscribed to JST. We've got the community chat function in the Fitter app, where people can just talk between them about the training, have a little moan and a little bitch about how hard the training was, but also it's just a great place to meet people on the program, potentially arrange some training sessions, and just get involved with the rest of the guys and girls that are on the program. As well as that, as in the community chat, there's also the leaderboards. So we'll often put in a leaderboard link for you to record your score from the workout that you've done. And that'll drop into a leaderboard on Fitter. And again, you can interact there with the rest of the guys on the program, like other people's scores, comment, a little bit like a Facebook or a Strava type thing on the leaderboard there. So we just encourage you just to make the most out of these three areas that we've got. When we're asking you questions, if you've got something that you want to ask us, fire away, get your performance notes in, and just like the quote says there,
you get out what you put in.
Okay. So the more you kind of utilise what we offer, then the better experience and the more help that we're going to be able to provide you now that you're on the program.
Just to go into a very quick little bit more detail about that, so that's just you taking more responsibility of your training, and obviously if you take the initiative to go out your way to messages because you feel like you need some help rather than just being unsure for a longer amount of time, obviously again you're just going to get a lot more out of your training.
Super Saturdays.
Super duper Saturdays.
Super duper Saturdays. So we'll explain that these are like two events that we kind of continuously have going on amongst the JST athletes. Super Saturdays is basically every Saturday we run a big training session. We program a big training session, and it's Olympic lifting, the whiteboard workout, and then extras on top. And it's 2 to 3 hours of a training session, and that's available. Everyone on JST will complete a Super Saturday, and they can log their results on Fitter and just compare with how they've done. But it's more about getting people together that are potentially maybe through the week following the program, maybe on their own or with 1 or 2 training partners. And it's just trying to create that group training atmosphere on a Saturday where people can get together, they can go that little bit harder in training, lift that little bit more, push themselves that little bit extra, and also just have that little bit of more fun with the training. But sometimes following an online program, you might miss out on having that social kind of interaction. So we just kind of encourage you to get together with other people on the Super Saturdays, even if they're not on JST. Like, try and get some mates involved. yeah, and just throw down on a Saturday with some big training.
And then we also organise training days. So key difference between a Super Saturday and a training day. This is a weekly thing, and it's a little bit more like just happens every Saturday. Training day is a bigger one where we get more people together. So we'll have 30 to 60 people all getting together. We'll be doing the Super Saturday kind of workout and maybe a few other little bits, but basically it's just a big gathering of JST Compete athletes that, you know, all want to do the same thing, just want to get together and just really enjoy themselves.
It's a beefed up Super Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah, as well as like the Super Saturday as well, it's usually afterwards we go for some food or we'll grab a coffee before we start the training day as well, so it's a bit more of a social event really, okay?
So it's important now you're on the programme that you understand our system. Now you've probably already selected the programme that you want to follow, but it's important that you understand the system just in case your goals do change down the line, and we can change you to make sure that you're on the right programme to whatever your goals change to. So we've got off-season and in-season programmes. The off-season, as you can see there, we've got 4 different options, and basically it's just picking an option which highlights your weakness the most. Okay, so if you need to get stronger, obviously we go to strength bias. If you need to improve your engine bias. If you want more focus on the gymnastics element, improving your gymnastics skill, then gymnastic bias. But if generally you want to kind of come away from CrossFit competitions and improve every area equally, and then we've got the all-rounder bias for that as well. And the difference between an off-season and an in-season, other than having the different options here, is that training kind of is just broken down that little bit more. So we can work on the elements of CrossFit separately a little bit more and just kind of develop them separately and then build them back together for when we get closer into in-season training. Now, these off-season programs will kind of gear towards the Open and quarterfinals for every year. So we're talking around the February, March, April time. But these will turn into more competition phase training, which is what the competition ready program is all year round. Okay, so if you're on the competition ready program, you'll follow that if you've got a competition coming up in the next 2 to 3 months. And the difference being, again, that this is going to be programming that's going to expose you to the demands of CrossFit and just basically sharpen the sword, so that when your competition does come round, you're used to the demands because you've been hitting that in training and your body's feeling sharp and ready to compete. The other thing that's worth mentioning is we have a selection of limitation programs here. We have the 3 programs. There's knee, hip and back, and then shoulder limitations. And basically these are just programs that are going to work around your niggles and just keep you in training. We all get the little niggles here and there, wherever it may be. So rather than just kind of getting frustrated and just sacking off training completely, we can provide you with a training program that's not going to make your niggles any worse. You can then go and get professional help. We can potentially give you some further suggestions on what your niggle is. But more importantly, it keeps you training, it keeps you motivated, and it keeps you on track until we can get that niggle figured out. Now, the 3 different areas, what we do allow is to be able to view one of each. So you can be signed up to strength bias and get access to competition ready and get access to a limitations program, all in the same subscription. You'll just need to drop us a message if you do need access, to an extra one of these programs, and we'll give you a code to get you signed up for it.
Just to add a couple of examples how you might, use all these programs. So, say for example, I'm in my off season at the moment, but I've got a competition at the start of December. So at the moment, I'm following the strength bias because I want to get stronger. My competition's in December, so I want to start following the competition ready at roughly the start of October to give you a guide. Okay. Say along the way, I start to get a bit of a knee niggle, okay, that's just giving me a bit of jip, that I need to work around for a couple of weeks. I'd message us on Fitter, and then you'd ask if you can have access to the knee limitation. So there's just to give you a guide of how you can use the programs. to best suit you.
And the important thing is we want to try and keep this so it's an ongoing cycle for year on year. So like Jack used that example then, but you might think, right, for this whole year I'm just going to take myself away from competitions, or maybe not focus on the competitions, maybe do some, but really knuckle down on like developing my weaknesses. So you might follow strength bias all year round, and then you might find you do that for a year and it's like, right, I'm happy with the improvements that I've made. I'm going to now highlight these 2, 3, 4 competitions over the next 5 months, and I'm going to have a good go at those 5 competitions. And that's when you then follow the competition ready program throughout that period of time. Let's say the 4 months goes by, you've done all the competitions, everything's good, and then you go, right, I want to go back into off season, jump back on one of the programs that you feel suits you the best, and you can just keep going through that kind of that life of switching between the off and in season. Next up.
So the purpose of JST Compete, so obviously for you as an athlete, okay, or as a person, you want to become the fittest you can in the sport of CrossFit. So our purpose is to provide you with the services and the guidance to be able to do that. Okay, so if we can offer you, as many things that cover an athlete as possible with regards to programming, the coaching, the feedback that you get on the videos, and like I said before, the guidance, that's obviously going to help you to reach your full potential as an athlete. So that's how we kind of fit all together. Okay.
The JST Effect. So, we set up the things like the Super Saturdays and the training days so that we can get people together a little bit more and get people training around each other and get to know each other, and just so there's a little bit more than just kind of everyone's kind of in their own gym, sat behind an app, they do the training program, and then that's that. So we wanted to add a little bit more to it. Okay, so the JST Effect, what is it? So basically, by getting everyone together on these Super Saturdays and the training days, we're just trying to get people in and around each other a little bit more, as well as the online community in the app. Just kind of getting people aware of other people on the program creates this bit of an awareness of who the other people are, what they're doing, what they're achieving, and it's about using the other athletes on the program, using their achievements as inspiration for your own, inspiration and motivation for your own training. So if you see someone who's on the same program as you, for example, and let's say they've got a squat clean on today's program and they hit a 5 kilo PB, you're on that same session, that could be a little bit of inspiration, a bit of motivation, to get you riled up to potentially also hit a 5, maybe you want to hit 6 kilo PB or beat their PB by 1 kilo. But it's all in a friendly competition way, and this is what you'll have seen the hashtag dotting around, RBE. So RBE stands for the Roger Bannister Effect. Which, if you know who Roger Bannister was, he was the first person to break a 4-minute mile, which was always kind of said that it was an impossible feat to do, like no man or woman could do it. And then Roger Bannister was the first person to do it, and then when he achieved that, over the next year, I think it was 15 or 16 people then also went on to break the 4-minute mile because he showed that it was possible. And then these other people used that as inspiration, as to then be able to achieve that as well. And that's what we've created in JST, is one person's achievements has a knock-on effect for the motivation and inspiration for the rest of the people on the program.
Cool. And then just want to briefly touch on a commitment culture, and this is what we are really trying to embody and create at JST Compete. So what that means is all our goals, our values and our behaviours are all aligned. So you as athletes and us as coaches, we're all kind of working towards the same goal, or our goals do align. We behave in the same way and we have the same values, so we all play by the same rules. So if we've got the same goal and we're playing by the same rules, that means that we're obviously going to be able to really hone in and move towards our goal, okay, much quicker. We're just going to touch on behaviours a little bit more on this next one. So we've got humility, responsibility and respect. So humility is just being a good person. So being a kind person, just someone that other people want to hang around with, because like I said, they're kind, they're grounded, they're down to earth, just people that you want to hang around with in training a little bit more. Then we've got responsibility. So this is responsibility to yourself. So your training, your nutrition, everything around training, making the decisions that are going to help you reach that goal. And then finishing up with respect. So this is respect for your training partners, for yourself, for the gym that you're in. Look after everything, look after your surroundings, look after yourself, look after the people around you, and obviously they'll look after you as well. So again, that's really going to help you to get towards your goal.
Yeah, and I think something we're passionate about is that if people are joining JST and they want to represent JST and they go to competitions, if you're going there and you're being a nice person and you're respecting your other competitors and your judges and everyone around you, it just shows that we just come across as a good group of people, and that's what we want to make sure. We just want a good group of people on the program that align with our core values, and we can help them the best achieve, or we can help you best achieve your goals.
Just to go in on this responsibility a bit more as well, that's responsibility for your decisions. So if something doesn't go to plan and it kind of was your fault, or if at a competition you don't do as well as what you'd like, it's not making the excuses, it's owning what happened and just accepting it, and then obviously once you've accepted it, then you can make a plan about it and move on. Okay.
And then further on to what Jack had said, Jack had said before in the beginning, if you have an issue with the program, maybe you're not sure about the direction something's going, or if you've got a niggle, or you've got a question, take the responsibility from yourself and then and ask us. We've already told you that our purpose is to help you, but we can't help you if we don't know how to help. So take responsibility. We get messages. We spend pretty much most of the day behind the computer, and we've got a team around us that helps as well. So we're here for you to message us. We're a service, we're not a program. So fire us a message, we'll get back to you, we'll help you as much as we can.
Cool. So the best way to get in touch with us, like we said before, is on Twitter. Like Steve said, we're on there throughout the day, so feel free.
And you'll have got it in your first welcome message when you join the program, but make sure you download the client app. There's iOS and Android version. Just makes it super easy to be able to follow your program, to be able to message us, to scroll through the leaderboards. And it's really accessible and simple rather than going on a computer or on the web. Hopefully you'll enjoy your time with the program. Give us a shout if you have any questions or need any help, and we'll be checking you out on the leaderboard.